My name is Kenjhons, aka Mr. Mainit, also. So originally an R&B hip hop artist, and got into the world of hip hop dance and was able to compete uh, in the world stage. So that kind of grabbed my moment from trying to be a solo artist as a R&B singer. Yeah, it went pretty crazy, like worldwide kind of. Fame, love, energy, and all that with the hip hop dance. So talking about my style wouldn't be about really the main styles of hip hop dance, because as hip hop, it's got a lot of different styles underneath like hip hop. So I don't really represent like a certain style of a dance movement or a dance genre under the name or the title hip hop. But as a artist or as a performer, I would say like my movements are more for like either like being raw movements, expressing yourself through raw movements, or being gentleman type feel, smooth, to deliver like a certain type of message. Like the kind of artist that I am would be like grown up type of movements. And the intention behind it for me is more like to inspire people rather than impressing people. So yeah, man, it's not more of like style, it's my intentions of why I dance or why I sing. I kept pursuing my singing mainly because when hip hop dance put me in the center of the world and represent the Philippines in the World Hip Hop Championships. And we blew up, became world famous, and that's when I realized like I gotta keep up with my music and my singing, because I was like, if we had the moves to inspire the world, what more if I had the microphone? So that's what kind of really got me back into my first intention of being here in the Philippines, was to be like an international artist. So yeah, man, having like that backbone, like what you're asking me, like I call it like in Filipino, like what's your hugot, man? Like what are your whys? You gotta have like a deep whys, and it's gotta be heavy enough for you to fulfill your dreams. Because if your whys aren't that deep or hard, you're just gonna stop trying to do whatever you're trying to do. So for me, one of my intentions and my whys is really like me growing up in Canada. I saw the culture of Filipinos not believing in themselves. Like our parents were like the OFWs, like they stopped believing in themselves and in their own country. Which when me growing up there, I kind of saw the insecurities of my fellow Filipinos. Because once you go out there in the world, other cultures or nationalities be like, "What are you Filipinos doing out here? Nothing popping in the Philippines. You ain't getting no opportunities out there." So what happens is they tend to look down on us as Filipinos trying to migrate out to other countries, which brought me back here in the Philippines to really live it out here. We could make it being out here. Just believe in ourselves. Before the world believes in us, we gotta start believing in ourselves first. So that's why I do what I do. I dance. That's the reason why I dance. That's the reason why I write songs. That's the reason why I would want to be famous also, only because of the intentions that I have for the world to feel and understand, beyond just watching my moves or listening to my beats. To tell you honestly, like before I started moving back here in the Philippines, I had my first prayer. I remember my aunties in the Philippines saying, because I was a kid growing up, like people would tell me like, "Yo, Ken, you're such a nice kid. Like even your back in the days, your teachers and your principals used to love you, this and that." Like, because my intention was just to be a better person every day, right? So I kind of remember like, hey man, I remember the aunties in the Philippines saying, once you become too nice, you're gonna be graduating. Like God is gonna take you up into heaven once you become too nice. So it kind of became like kind of funny, but like my first intimate prayer to myself. Like I was like, hey man, if I'm gonna be graduating anytime soon, and my intention every day is to be a better person, can you not take me away? But in return, I'll spread to the whole world and let them know how great it is to live because of you. So if you wake me up, that's what I'm gonna do. So that's why on this interview right now, that's what I'm doing. Whether if I win competitions, if I make hits in my albums and my songs, I don't really care much as what I'm saying right now. This is why I perform. This is why I live, to tell the world that it's amazing to be alive, man. So I got back here, next thing you know, Philippine All-Stars, World Hip Hop Dance Championships. When most people didn't believe in the Filipinos, having talent when it comes to hip hop dance. But I was like, it's not even about the color or the nationality. It's about what you want to come out from this. And for me was to deliver the message. So why are you going to win? Why is God going to give you a ticket worldwide when we had no sponsors? But because he knew our intentions and our whys. He knew his word is going to get around. So he made us travel with no sponsorships. He made us win a couple of times, 3, 4 times, world championships. Because he knew we was going to talk about how great he is, beyond our skills, beyond the way we move. It's what we had in our hearts. That's how it blew up. That's why I always say one up. I don't say what's up anymore. When you ask Kenjhons, yo, what's up, Kenjhons? I'd be like, one up, man. So people take pictures. I try not to take the respect for myself, because I know that I wouldn't have gotten where I got to without really believing that higher power beyond just my own capabilities. When people around the world would cry, not even knowing why, they don't even understand because they got different dialects but they feel why we're out there. Why we stand next to them. It was beyond the colors. And they felt that, even if they didn't understand the language. So for me, it's not the way you move, it's the way you feel. Philippine All-Stars started off as 12 individuals, and we had different backgrounds, different talents in dancing, even beyond dancing. Like there were artists, there were chefs, painters, clothes designers. We had our own clothing line. So just gathering up in the name of hip hop, like when we had like underground hip hop clubs, when hip hop wasn't even popping yet, and we were friends already in the underground scene. And when we all found out that we had an opportunity to represent Philippines in the world, that's when we got together and believed in that dream. And for us, we were like, man, destiny cannot be broken. You just gotta believe in it. And yeah, the rest is history, man. We're like hip hop dancers, there's b-boys, there's crumpers, there's poppers and lockers, there's artists, rappers and singers. That was way back in 2005 when we started. So we won 2006 in the World Championships in LA. 2008 was in Las Vegas. And we had other championship titles, but for me, those were like one of the most meaningful moments. Because, like I said, being here in the Philippines, being out there in Canada, growing up out there, like a lot of people, when you're Asian, you're Chinese, Like they don't know about Filipinos, they don't know about other nationalities, and for us, that was kind of like one of my mission and intention to really put like the best that we can and really start like the world start looking into what do we have here in the Philippines. And because it's not even about like where you're from really, man. It's really like where you trying to get to and why. And All Stars, we had amazing whys. We wanted to spread awareness to the people in the Philippines that to look up, keep your heads up. Most of us here in the Philippines, we look down in ourselves, in our own system, just in everybody. We don't believe in ourselves. So how are you going to believe in, how you expect other people or the world to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself? So we first had that intention through dance, through hip hop dance. And from then, that's where we kind of had like the bus to travel and send the message out there to the kids of Filipinos to believe in themselves, or to even the kids who aren't even Filipinos to also believe in themselves. It was beyond culture and religion. If you want something great to happen, you better have a great intention and a great why. And we had that. The All Stars had it. So we were able to travel, do concerts. And when people would think like we were dope, I don't even think we were that dope. We just had dope intentions. For me, being the original choreographer and leader of the Philippine All-Stars, I wouldn't even say we were great dancers. I would say we had great intentions. I wouldn't even say we were great people, you know what I mean? But we had great intentions. And for anybody out there listening or watching, just have a great intention, have a great why you want to do what you want to do, and you're going to get there. God will make a way somehow. You just got to believe it. If you don't, it'll never happen. So you better just believe it. Beyond your whys, like that's number one, right? But beyond all that, it's a lot of hard work of doing shit that you don't like doing to do what you love. You know, like throwing up, waking up 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning to train from morning to night. You gotta train harder than anybody out there in the world. You gotta be thinking like, man, if we're working hard, there's gotta be like a team from China or from Italy who's probably working as hard. So what we're doing is not enough. So I keep telling the team from back then, good enough is not good enough. You gotta be like, you know, like fucking great. You gotta be working so hard because the world is working harder. So you gotta make sure, yo, that shit is not enough. We gotta do more. Don't be lazy. If you wanna prove something to the world's watching, what kind of character are we? Are we great or we're all right? There's a difference. If you wanna be good, that's different from being great. How about being the greatest that you can be? We chose to be the greatest in our era. And we had it because we wanted that. So if you kind of want it, you might not get it. But if you want it bad, like the baddest, then you'll get it because you got to earn it. It's every angle. Like hard work is not even it. Like what I would tell people is like, you got to earn it. You know, why would God give it to you? Are you going to go out there, compete, and then, you know, fuck around, fool people, lie to people, be boastful about yourself, be cocky because you're a champion? Like everything's a package. Like, yo, if I'm gonna take you out there to the world, are you gonna be a good influence to the people? Or are you gonna be a great influence? So there's other teams, other people, artists out there who got greater wives. So you better deserve it. Like blood, sweat, and tears are part of it. I could go and name all kinds of ways to make it happen, but to me, like everyone has said that already, you know, working hard. But there's different segments. I even call it like a flash formula, man. You know, like faith is number one. L is loving yourself and others. You know, how do you treat others? You think you're better than others just because you're good at what you do? You can't be thinking that, because once you come thinking that, you be cocky. You think you're better than others. But once you start thinking that you're equal, how do you get that your heart into the people's mind? Understand that in God's eyes, we all stars. So what I say is, God created billions of people from around the world, but not even a twin is perfectly identical. So that makes you and I that special. So once you embrace that in your heart and soul, that's when you're going to have the right perfect combination of swag and humility. That nobody's better than you. Nobody's lesser than you. You're not better than others. You know, if you start knowing that everybody is created equally in God's eyes, that's when the love comes around you. You know, you have no competition, but you're different. She's different. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm better. It's not. Everybody's different. You know, God made sure that even the twin is not perfectly identical. So once you start understanding that, you start performing, you started dancing, you started singing, people are gonna feel less intimidated about you. You could be like hella fresh, but he's not cocky because he's, speaking from his heart. Like he's got love and respect from the people. And for me, that's how I want to walk this earth, man. You know, like, why do I want to look fly? Not to be better than others, but to be who I want to be. And you could be that too. You could do whatever you want to do with your own videography, with your own MMA style or whatever or whatnot. Just know that there ain't nobody like you. And there ain't nobody like me. Ain't nobody like Kenjhons or Mr. Mainit. I'm just me. I'm always going to be me. I could be what I want to be. Ain't nobody gonna see what I see at the end of the day. So I just gotta keep pursuing my own vision and my dreams and goals.
Have you ever had times where it was hard?
Hell yeah, super hard, man. Nobody believed in us. Our own parents would think we were crazy. You know, our flights are coming and we hadn't had to pay for our tickets yet. We hadn't had money to pay. How do you even train when you know you don't have money to pay for your plane tickets? How do you do your drills? You know, we would dance overnight, you know, like sleepovers to make sure that we're going to put out a show that the world has never seen before. So we would pray about it, man, like, hey, man, it's kind of impossible, but we know that you make things possible. So if you think we already deserve a move that the world has never seen or felt before, give it to us, because we got about 3 days. Next thing you know, we dream about those moves. You wake up, you tell the whole All-Stars, yo, we got the moves. What is it? Let's demonstrate it. And we'll be like, amen, amen. So it's not about the moves we're trying to show people. It's how those moves came about. And the struggles, I always say like, pag walang hirap, walang masarap. If you didn't struggle for anything, you won't feel great about something. It wouldn't mean anything to you because you didn't work hard for it. So every time we face struggles, that's when we were like, amen. Because you feel alive and you want to work harder, you want to be better, and you know something great's coming after it. When things are just all right, you know, things are going all right, that's when you feel bored and safe. It's just all right. So you don't want to work hard, you don't want to get up off of your seat and working hard. So when you have hardships, that's when you be grateful. Because it's like God is like a trainer in the gym, you know? Once the trainer starts giving you heavier equipments, you start complaining, it's too heavy, right? But you gotta know that God's telling you like, yo, I'm giving you heavier weights now. Because you've been doing that small plates for a year. I trust you and your muscles now. So we should be thankful instead of like complaining like shit's getting hard. You know what I mean? So for me, that's how I see it. When I see and face struggles and hardships, I'm grateful about it. Because like I want him to train me, you know? If I be a crybaby about my struggles, then he'd be like, all right, I'm going to give this training to other people because you can't handle it. That's how I see it. So yeah, man, hardships and struggles, impossible things, bro. Like impossible things like came to us. We had no money to eat, right? I'm going to give you a few examples because this story that I'm telling you is like, could be like a movie. So it might take me like hours, right? But just to share to you, like imagine being in a studio when you're not complete and you have to be a team to compete. You have to be complete to compete as a team. But when there's one of you guys and one of your main guys not in the studio, how can you perform your piece, right? So you call one of the guys and he picks up the phone and he'd be like, sorry, man, I had no more money to commute to get to the studio. Because we stopped doing our own individual careers for this craziness, right? For this dream. I was like, you know what, bro? We're going to pitch in like 20 pesos, 50 pesos, 10 pesos. Get your ass here, bro. We got to be a team. So the guy gets here. He starts performing the dance choreography. He starts screwing up. So I'd be like, yo, what's wrong with you? He'd be like, sorry, bro. Like, I'm starving. I haven't eaten. Even like sardines, we don't have any more left at home. I have no money. So how can you like school your teammates how to perform better when they have nothing to eat? So what we do at that time, stop the rehearsals and we start praying. Literally like this. Lord, please give us signs to keep doing what we're doing to represent our country and to represent you. Because we can't go any further. We're starving. All right, and we say amen. 5 minutes after that, a pizza box gets thrown down the studio and not even knowing who threw it, just probably a random girl, right? And you see in the pizza box saying, there's a note, Philippine All-Stars. Keep doing what you guys doing, inspiring people like me. God bless. So little miracles like that, it keeps us moving forward because that's what we asked for. We prayed, give us a sign that we should keep moving forward. Because if not, then we're just going to stop this nonsense, right? So he keeps pushing us. Like a lot of signs and miracles like that just led us to be the world champions. Not just once, twice, maybe 3, 4 times. And it's mainly because of why we wanted to do what we wanted to do. My biggest why was that, like, if I'm graduating, if I'm going to die tomorrow because I got no purpose to live for another day, I want it extended. It's like an ex deal with the man upstairs, man, our father, like the greatest one. And so far, that's why till now, when I wake up, when I get interviews like this, I gotta make sure I gotta put him up front. You know, I can't front myself because he gonna smack me. That's my greatest why. He gonna keep me fine on the road even when I'm riding my motorcycles because he knows I got places to go. He gonna take me there, whatever it is, because he knows why I'm going there. So he wants me there. He wants to be here in this video. He needs to be here. This is the reason why there's Kenjhons, there's Mr. Mainit, there's Philippine All-Stars, world champions. That's why even my clothing line is The One by Kenjhons. I can't put him on the side. You know, and one of the whys that I had is I even left my whole family in Canada to get to know myself, what I really wanted to become. Because when I was back home in Canada, I was comfortable. Like I said, when you're comfortable, you ain't going nowhere. You're just chilling, right? So I had to lose my family to meet the best version of myself. That was hard. You know, and my family is like my best friends. My two older brothers, they're my best friends. My two younger sisters, they're my best friends. My mom is my best friend. But what am I doing here? To let them know that their brother or my mom's son made it big with a big purpose beyond myself. Right? Because anyone could just live and be a normal person. But to me, if you believe that God is your father, and you know that man up there is the greatest one, and you're his son, then you better be great too, right? That's how I see it. That's why I think I'm great, right? Because I aspire to be great. Because I have a belief that the one who created me is great. It's a superhero. So maybe I am too. Just like I said earlier, we all are. Just most of us doesn't know that, right? So I'm here telling you, whoever's watching, if I'm great, you're great too, man. Everyone else is listening right now. I'm not better than anybody. Do what you love. Do what you gotta do to be happy. And for me, that's the greatest success that you could ever feel in your life. Doing something that makes you truly happy. I tell a lot of people, like, why you gonna stop doing something that makes you happy? Especially for people like me, for artists like me, I got 2 kids now and a wife. So I'm like, you know, I'm a father, I'm like tatay, you know, like I'm done, you know, like, but no, I'm not done. I can still have fun and have a great time with my life, not just because I already have kids, I gotta stop what I do, what makes me happy. Then how am I gonna take care of my kids if they see me not being happy? How am I gonna tell them to be happy when they feel that I'm not happy doing what I love? It's not just a responsibility to raise kids. But you can't tell them to be happy and you're not happy yourself. So I have to make sure, you guys have to make sure, whatever you guys do, you're happy with. Because if not, that reads. You can't lie about it. You can't act like you're happy, but you're not. So you better make sure you're truly happy with what you're doing. No one else knows how happy you are in what you guys are doing. So you do what makes you happy, and that's all that matters. Keep it mainit.